you're doing? Good afternoon. Welcome to another time here. Welcome to another time at the book club. This is what we gotta do on Sunday afternoons. We've been reading through a book, The Good Life, by Robert Waldinger and Mark Chus. That's what we've been reading here, The Good Life. And we're presently in chapter 3 of it. There's fourth reading. Fourth segment reading in chapter 3. We're looking at different stages in life. We've looked at the teens, adolescents. We've looked at last week we looked at the young adults. Today we're going to be looking at the midlife, and so midlife is from 40 to 60 years old. Some people say it's 40 to 65, but generally it's 40 to 60 years old. That's what is classified as midlife. And that's what we're going to look at today. Just look at what it is, the issues we get to face in midlife, and possibly how we can handle it and do a better job at living through this life. This is where I find myself at 56, at the closing years of midlife, and as I read a book, the things I see there too are things that I've seen in my life, so I can testify to all that I've read in the book, and it's also helped me to see that things I see in my life are not strange. They are pretty much things that every other person goes through, so that gives me some kind of some kind of peace, and helps me to be able to better handle the issues of this stage in my life, knowing that it's not something that's peculiar to me. It's not because I'm missing out on something or the other, but it's just what it is. It's life, and I'm able to address it and leave it better, so hope that gives you get the same feeling from it. But I'm going to go ahead and bring up a slides, and we're just going to go through it. Just like always, my people on Instagram Live will not get to see the slide, but just enjoy the discussions. You would see it on Facebook Live, and you would see it also on YouTube Live. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get blessed by it. As always, feel free to comment, feel free to add your voice, and we can learn more, as we all put heads together. Two good heads are better than one, so let's do this. Alrighty, so that's the slide. Again, that's the book. Those are the authors, Mark Schultz, Robert Waldinger. They're the heads at the Harvard School study on adult development. So this is a summary of their learnings of this 85 plus years of study on adult development, or what makes a good life. So they've come up with their result, and we're reading their book, and we're hopefully learning, how to live a good life. One thing I find out, and probably one other reason why I'm presently doing a study through the book of Proverbs, is that, there are ways to engage life. There are ways to engage life. There are things you can do to win in life. Success leaves tracks. It leaves tracks, and you can learn from those tracks. You can retrace those tracks. And success principles and laws are repeatable. If you do the things that others have done, you will be successful. If you don't do them, you might not be successful. So all the things that have been written are full-time, are for our own use, not just to put them on a book rack, but they are for our own use, so that we can be better people, we can succeed and even do better than those that have gone ahead of us. Like Isaac Newton would say, I have gone further. I have gone further. I have done better. I have seen further than those that have gone before me, because I sit on their shoulders to start from where they stopped, and therefore I can do better than them. I don't have to reinvent the wheel, do the same thing they've done before. I can start from where they stopped and I can do better. That's a blessing, of reading books. That's what I enjoy from reading books. I don't know how to do life on my own. I've never been here before. I have never been on this day before. I have never been this old before. But I can read the life of other people that have been at this age before, and I can learn how they succeeded. I can learn where they failed, and I then can do a better job at it. None of us knows all that we need to know on our own to live life, right? We can do a better job of our life by learning from other people. We're not completing ourselves, right? There are things that God has put here for us to learn, that if we learn them, we can do a better job at life. We all come with a purpose. We all come with an assignment. But one thing God didn't bless any of us with is how to fulfill that assignment. So he puts parents and guardians and those that have gone ahead of us to as guardians to help us, do a better job at life, at fulfilling the intent of our creation. Yes, we're created with everything that we need to fulfill purpose, but the how we didn't come with. We have to learn that, right? That is the essence of knowledge. That's the essence of understanding. That is the essence of wisdom. That is the essence of instructions. That's the essence of laws. That's the essence of principles. Then it's going to fly at us. We have to go grab them and use them for us to be a success in our life, a success in our endeavors, right? So that's the beauty of doing all of this. We get to share. So that's what we have all scheduled. So again, it's the title of the chapter we're on is called Relationship on the Winding Road of Life. Relationships on the winding road of life. Relationship on the different stages of our life. Relationship on the continuum of life, right? We're children, we go into adolescence, we'll go into the young adult life, we'll go into the midlife, then we'll go into the late adult life. And how do we win in all the stages of life? That's what we're discussing here. We have the chronological age, being children, teenagers, young adults, older adults, seniors, and elders, right? That's what this puts it. But you can also put some of this joined together, and we will talk about being children, being adolescents, being young adults, adult and older life here you can put together and call them midlife. And you have the late life being the senior and the elder together, right? So what we're looking at is the midlife, middle life. And again, it's from age 41 to 65 or age 41 to 60. It all depends on who you're talking to. The book here grabs it as 41 to 65. But let me be sure that that's what the book says, but what's more common is actually age 40 to 60. But yeah, the book puts it as 41 to 65, So, but most literature, you will find it as 40 to 60, but plus minus, that's where we find the middle life, And one of the things that used to start that section is a response from one of the candidates of the study at age 41. He was asked a few questions, and these are his answers. His answer pretty much typifies, what the middle life looks like, even though this was at this early stage of the middle life. The question was, what matters most to him at age 43 years old, And number one, he said, I'm growing old. He realized he is growing old. So one of the things that typify this timeline is the reality of mortality. right? And that I can tell you that from experience. I've never felt, I say that so often, ever before I even read the book, and at this stage of my life, I have, I'm at peace with mortality. I'm at peace with the fact that I'm going to die one day. I'm actually ready to die this second, because death has become a reality for me. When I was much younger, death was a far thing. It was a far thing. Today, I don't see it as a far thing. I see mortality is so much real to me right now, for several reasons. Uh, I've had health challenges, which comes with this age. I've had to go through depression. I've gone through times when I couldn't sleep for 48 hours. I felt I was dying, but I'm still here. But all of that brought me closer to what death is. Death is not something that's far. It's something that I've made peace with. I'm gonna die one day. My parents are gonna die one day. Death is an eventuality, and anytime it comes, irrespective of where it comes from, it should not throw my life upside down, right? But that's one of the things here, and this can either, if you don't make peace with death that is real to you in this age, you will have what we call midlife crisis. All right. So the things that face us in this age group, if we don't make peace with them, they become crises in our life. But we can avoid those crises if we rightly address the challenge of this age group. This age group is this age group is tied with that. It's called midlife crisis. When those challenges come to you, the way you make peace or no peace with them could turn to a crisis, and that's popularly known as midlife crisis. And you see a lot of people going through that within this age bracket, right? So that is a reality, and it hits you much more than any other time in this age group, right? And you feel it. Your body is telling you you're losing your hair, you're getting bored. I'm losing my hair. I'm getting bored. And whether I come to terms with that or not, can go a long way to affect, how I face life, the reality of me facing life. It could affect the reality of me facing life, to what extent and in what way I come to terms with the reality of the fact that I'm getting old, right? I'm getting old, all right, I'm gonna looking at my battery on my laptop, on my phone. I'm getting old, right? And I'm come to peace with that. The baldness, the grayness of my hair. My hair is not as black as it used to be. Some people then go and die, irrespective of what you do about it, whether you die, you need to just find your peace around the reality of the fact that you're getting old, right? And your body is depreciating, right? You can renew some of it by eating right, taking care of your health, exercising, but then going to stop the death process. It's just going to slow you down, right? Two, he said, it feels like he may not achieve what he wanted, and that's another possible source of crisis in this age. Don't forget, the young adult was preparing us for success and was preparing us, to be able to handle life. We said life begins at 40, as we talk about the young adulthood, whatever you do in the young adulthood kind of sets your life, your trajectory of your life. That's when you have the strength to do all that labor, running around. The young adult has strength. And what do you do with that strength? In a whole lot of sense, determines your trajectory during your middle life, where you don't have as much strength as you had in your young life, but you can then consolidate what you've already gathered. You do have wisdom, but you don't have strength, so in a lot of ways, that could determine the trajectory of your life. though all hope is not lost. You can still do some things, when you have life, you have hope. And you can still do some things, but it will take a whole lot more struggle than it would have taken if you had done sown the right seed in your young adult life, right? The other thing he said was, he said, not sure I know how to bring up children, because your results begin to show to you, whatever you've done in your young adult life, whether having children, raising children, your results will be apparent to you, and that could cause a crisis if you have not shown right, because your children are now they're growing, they're probably teenagers at this point in time, young adults at this point in time, and whether they've grown well or not, it could bring its own crisis to you, how your children are doing, and there's tension also possible in the workplace, and it all depends on what you did with your young adult life, how you set yourself up for success. You had the right certification, degree, at work, what position you are at work, you're probably thinking of retirement like I am right now, then you're looking at what have you done with your working life. Those could cause crisis, depending on what you've done, where you are, and how you're able to handle where you are going forward, could result in what we call the midlife crisis, right?